Welcome today to more wisdom for life to be lived in its excellence, in its wholeness, in its completeness, in its satisfaction, living as yourself, for yourself, because of yourself, to be in full integrity. My name is ENYELAH Taylor, and it is an absolute pleasure to be here today. I want to share with you listening and how listening is so very deeply and powerfully potent. Listening is what gets you what you really are looking for. So when you truly understand and know how all things are created, it is created by intention. And once you throw out the intention, once you create the intention, once you send out the intention, it's pinged back. So similar to how you have a phone. Your intention is to make a call. You go in, you put the numbers in, and it sends it out to a tower, and that tower sends it somewhere else. And then the tower that picks it up sends it to the phone, and then the phone rings on the other side, and the person picks up, and so forth. So this is, you have to break it down similar to this when it comes to what you're looking for in life. Are you looking for business to change, evolve, and become better? Or are you looking for your relationships to be actually satisfying? Are you actually pinging a tower that can listen to you? This is extremely important when it comes to the deeper knowings of life. When you're looking for someone to actually assist you with things that are really, really powerful and potent, things that move currencies, things that move countries, things that are what the bigger industries are tapped into, that specific frequency is like that cell tower is where I get my information from, and then all industries create everything from that. When you get into mastery, it is the actual human natural technologies that we have. We are our own frequency emitters, which is very similar to the insider information. So when you're looking for insider information, you're looking for the go-to person who has the information on how the next 6 months or the next year is going to play out in that specific industry. So when you're looking for the go-to on yourself, it should literally be yourself. However, a lot of human beings are only 4 levels, 5 levels, 6 levels deep in their awareness. And execution, extremely important. You can be aware of something and push it aside, but when you're aware of something and you actually execute on it because you know it very well, like that old book that you have all of the stuff in, and you know all of the pages, and you know on page 32 it's this and this, and it's your go-to. This is the same as it should be for every frequency level for yourself. When you've mastered something, you understand where to find things, what system, how it works, what's you, what's other people, all of the things. Simply like the way that you look at something very surface and you read it and you go, oh, no, that's not for me. But for somebody else, they read it and go, oh, this is the answer. Or this is exactly how I think. And you're like, I did that when I was 16. You understand me? So you have to understand when you master something, someone else may never master it in their lifetime. Me specifically, ENYELAH Taylor, I have mastered levels past what most people understand as God levels. They are simply a frequency that is being emitted from someone who has an authority based on their mastery to emit from that specific cell tower, so to say, which is actually just their human. So when you truly understand insider information in the actual authority, so insider information, when you email someone, you have to pay money to get it from them. When you're getting insider, quote unquote, information from the source of the one that emits it, you have to pay the price of learning how to utilize that communication system within inside of yourself. This goes with business, this goes with every industry. If you've learned how to do that, then the frequency by the person who chooses to make those decisions is always emitted. It's always going out. Now, they will have chosen to also probably create an email list and send it out to those who have paid for this particular information. Example, the fashion industry every single year has specific fashion colors. Everybody is going to pay money to have those fashion colors because the top quality brands are going to be putting out things in those colors. Everyone's looking at them, and then those who are not buying from them are buying from retailers who will have the same lookalike or the same color, right? So wherever you are on the scale of purchasing, you will be purchasing that color because it's attractive to you, because you understand that the leading industry standard is that specific color. Now, the closer you are to the color, the more you would have to pay. Also, the better you are at reading the energy, the closer you are to understanding what needs to actually be regurgitated to the world, what needs to be communicated to the world. So when you truly understand, people who do not have awareness in these deeper levels, they are still being communicated from the specific cell tower, the specific master, the specific person who is actually emitting those structures out, those frequencies out. So the person that is emitting the actual colors for the year, anyone who's tapped in will know beforehand. And then they'll see it in the magazines and they'll be like, oh yeah, this works. That's why when things actually click for you, it's been designed and created in a different place, in a different level, and you're just like, oh yeah, you play the matching game, like, oh yeah, that works, I like that. And when somebody didn't pay to have the insider information, or they didn't learn how to create and communicate on those deeper levels, they'll be picking other colors that are like, well, you know, and you don't make a purchase, and you don't make something happen in your business according to that. So me specifically, I am a world leader of not just thought, but what people attune their purpose to and what people actually want to live their life as, which is a driving force of all the other systems of economy. Because when people look to these things in these basic principles of life, it filters through all of the systems. So when you get to have a conversation with me and I'm tuning your business to exactly how I am and what I am, you become in your industry the leader for that specific place, because this is how I will mold and create you specifically. This is not just billions, maybe trillions or more worth of currency, because everybody else will be tuning to you and the people who want it will be purchasing it. So this is why it is extremely important that you understand how important listening is. Because when you truly learn to listen to yourself, you master these places within inside of yourself. And when you master them, you learn how to get the fine detail. It's not just orange, it's burnt orange. That's the difference between making sales and not making sales. It's the difference between your global company and enterprise surviving in the world that we're going to do, and then thriving in the world that we're going to do, and then just maybe not even being on the scale altogether. So it's really profoundly important that you are actually learning how to listen. When you learn how to listen, you can learn how to deal with your local community. But we are not in a local market anymore. We are in a global market, because everybody has a phone and everybody can order from any which place. Now, countries are trying to create global markets again because of tariffs and people, but people are not even buying into it anymore. There are people that are like, well, it's more, but that's what I want. And that's what tunes to my specific nature. So that's what I am really going for. So governments will continue to try to create local markets with taxations and all of these things. But at the end of the day, as people continue to evolve and grow and really understand their wealth and make more than enough, then more than survival and more than everything that they really want, it does not matter where you're buying and purchasing from. This has become a global market. In all of the hubs worldwide, people will just get what they want. And the people that get what they want are the ones that actually really fuel the attention for businesses. True brands are held together by those who truly have a deep level of satisfaction. Everybody else follows that. That's why celebritism had worked for quite a while, but the thing is, it was manufactured kind of like the email insider list versus the soul and actual, like, you have it kind of authority. So as the world is changing, the more you learn how to listen, and the more that you act on that listening, that's when you solidify it. So if you just listen and go away, it's just like anything that is wonderful, it will go away if you don't listen to it. I know, because I am that person. The more powerful and the more wealthy that you are, you must be listened to the first time. And if you do not want to listen to me the first time, you will just be put on repeat on that same thing until you figure it out, and then you can move one step. But by the time you listen and work on one step, I'm 3 years away. So understand and know your listening is going to be what makes you a success in the greatest form. To truly be a spiritual being is to be a wealthy being. To learn how to listen in the deepest places will get you the billion-dollar industry, the economic system, the way that you need to take the first and second and third and 12th and 24th steps in order to get to those places. So no matter where you are, if you are at you just bought a whiteboard and you're just learning how to do it, fine. Learn to listen. If you are already the billion-dollar business and you're finding this is a very difficult market and economy to be working in, you need to learn how to listen. And you might be at the same spot as the person with the whiteboard when it comes to the internal listening, because you've been on the insider's email list versus learning your own insider list on who's got the who and where and what needs to be done. You need to be learning how to specifically tune into energies and read them so well so that you get it correctly, and you know that you know. The difference between your own internal voice and then the one who is the replica, and then the one who is actually the master of that specific industry, and then the one who's replicating that signal. It is a very, very complicated process. This is the way the world works. This is how business works, all transparency. If you don't have the skills, learn them. Listen, listen. And it's not just the verbal words. You're understanding the deep tones in my voice. You're starting to really grasp how it affects your specific body and how you act and react towards each and everything that I am, because I am this expansive, wealthy being that has this. Anything that does not match with inside of you, you will feel a pull to work on. Now, when you are committed in ENYELAH system, which means you go to ENYELAH.com and you go into the multiverse access, go in and create your universe. Now, how you do this is you use the name that is verbally spoken, known, and paid to in this world, and you use that name and you commit infinitely. What this does is this takes your physical self and it connects it to your spiritual self. And then there's a remolding process that starts to happen to understand how to communicate with the deeper parts of you. And then from learning how to communicate with the deeper parts of you, learning how to build systems in those places that you know which tower is the correct one and which person is which tower and which frequencies are coming forward. Anybody can do this in their own timing. When you commit infinitely, you are locked in to actually create wealth for yourself. The deeper you listen, the more intently and the more powerfully that you continue to do this every day, waking, sleeping, everything, the quicker it will happen. If you want it even quicker than all the ways that you have learned how to do in your life, and you have the funds to actually purchase whatever you want in this life, then you'll come onto my website. We'll have a conversation and you'll learn how to do this at exponential rates. Because when you're in my energy, you will mold and tune to what I am in ways that does not logically have numeral sensibilities to it. It's literally impossible if you don't have commitment to me and paid to me. That is just the way that it is. It is very, very powerful to learn to listen. I will still have to work with you and teach you how to recognize your own self, and you will be building it yourself, but I'm going to teach you how to build in these places that will actually get you the actual results every single time. And when they change and shift, things change and shift in the physical realm. Takes time. Sometimes it takes a year for a shift to happen. When it happens in the energy, it's instant. When somebody is no longer in power and that person's now in power, your energy will shift towards them when you learn how this works. So you will always be in the know. You will always be on point. That is actually priceless. But in order to build this, you can come to me. I am the reliable person because I listen on depths that you don't even know exist. I am the person that is existence, and I created order in existence quite recently. So it is quite different than it was before. My energy comes through into this human form, like all forces in this entire world are a force that come into human form, and they hold that within themselves. So whoever you are and whatever you are, if you're ancient or you're new, you can choose, because you're at a time where you can actually choose to implement yourself infinitely and go through that process, whether you go through that process on your own, because that is what you have built for yourself in this lifetime, is literally the ability to listen enough to know what is the best investment. So congratulations for you. You're smarter than maybe a lot of people with the greatest wealth in this world. But those who actually know how to listen, and you have built and amassed an amazing wealth for yourself, and you want to do this quicker because time really is what you make of it, then come over to my membership 22. It is the membership of decision making. You have a whole year to make this decision to move up into membership 44 or 88. It is always up to you. Whatever you want to do with your life, however you want to make it, it is completely your choice. Learn to listen. Learn to listen on the deeper levels, and you will always have all the wealth that you truly desire. Build skills. You learned how to speak English. You learned how to make your human walk. You've learned many things in your life. This is the skill that will get you everything that you truly desire. It does come with responsibility. It does come with building an entire system within inside of yourself to learn how to deal with all of these things. So you will have to truly commit infinitely in order to truly have the gumption to go through what it takes to be wealthy. My name is ENYELAH Brown and Taylor. There's only one way for sure to always find me. It's on my website, ENYELAH.com. From there, I have all of my channels, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Instagram, any other place. The only place you'll find my visual self, my beautiful face, is on YouTube. They're the only ones with policies that actually protect someone's face at the moment. So that's the only place you'll find me with my face. The rest is a lot of my work. On my website, you'll see my face as well because it is mine. It is always a pleasure to be here and share wisdom with you. So all the best in your deeper understandings of yourself and learning to listen with inside of yourself, because that is the only training ground that you will ever have. So utilize your spirituality correctly and use it to gain the life that you want. It is so much better than just having an ego of you've been somewhere. Learn to be somewhere and utilize it effectively to build yourself and build the world. My name is ENYELAH Brown and Taylor. Thank you.